If I sound a little weird in this video, I am coming off of a cold right now. I found this video on Animal Well really hard to make. Not because I had problems with the game's performance or recording it or anything like that, but because Animal Well is a game that is at its core really simple, and games that are really simple I find the hardest to talk about. And before you say anything, yes, I know the game was made by one guy who coded his own engine to make the game. And these are just my thoughts and opinions on Animal Well. If you wish to voice yours, that's what the comment section is for. When I call Animal Well simple, I don't mean that in a bad way. It's simple when you compare it to a lot of other Metroidvanias mechanically, because it doesn't have an evolution of mechanics. What I mean by that is if you look at other Metroidvanias, you get a skill or item and learn how to use it. Then later on, you get an upgrade for said item or skill that makes it better and unlocks more possibilities for puzzles. This opens up a lot more stuff for you to do in the game and makes the game's mechanics a bit more complex with each step. And normally before you beat the final boss and the credits roll is when you get all of these upgrades. The only upgrade I've found is the bubble wand, and that's just after beating the game. So unless there's more hidden somewhere else that adds in a bit more complexity to the game that I never found, the game's not that complex when it comes to mechanics. And when I say it's not a bad thing that Animal Well is simple, it's because making it simple like that lets everything else shine, especially the puzzles. Animal Well's puzzles are a highlight of the game. They range from, this makes my damn head hurt, to, barely straightforward. For an example of each are the wolf puzzle and the bubble wand fan area. With the wolf puzzle, you have to take the disc from the shrine that you put it in before, and while being chased by the wolf spirit, run all the way up to the other shrine. And, it's not a direct path to get there. You gotta wind your way up a little bit and make it to the shrine and put it in before you die. This one puzzle took me a good hour and a half plus to complete with multiple deaths. It needs some setup beforehand, and it's a puzzle that is complicated and takes a bit of planning, but finally figuring out the route and getting it completed after a few tries, it felt really like a really satisfying achievement to do that. Then you've got the bubble wand fan area, which is, fairly straightforward, where you use the wand to create a bubble, ride it up on the air created by the fans to get to the next area. Then once at the top of the area, you have to ride the bubble down a different shaft to get to the exit. It's a really straightforward puzzle. Unless you're like me and you just have a streak of stupid that day and just blank out about doing the thing that's obvious for like 30 minutes. Yeah, that's what happened in that area for me. I don't know why, I just overlooked the simple idea of, hey, I can ride the bubbles down and jump off them. I don't know why I overlooked it, but I did. Even at those times of me being stupid, I did enjoy the puzzles and trying to figure them out. I think the puzzles combined with the amount of hidden secrets and the game's exploration is what makes Animal Well fun and interesting. There's a shit ton of secret areas in the game that lead to eggs that will give you a reward when you collect a specific amount. And some of those areas are really well hidden and hard to find. So that makes it feel really good when you come across those secrets in your adventures through the world of Animal Well. Some are, devilishly well hidden, where others are a bit more obvious, but, still decently well hidden. And while I was working my way through the game, I did run into my normal nemesis in Metroidvanias. Looking at the map and asking the question, okay, where the fuck do I go now? And more importantly, how? Especially when I forget there's marking mechanic in the game, so I could have marked that there's a switch here that I never hit, and that might open a new path that lets me progress to the last flame. It's not a knock against the game, I'm just an idiot when it comes to marking or remembering things in games like this. And this is where we get to my personal rating for Animal Well. I've switched up my system a little bit to define it better in 2025. Animal Well sits right in the middle of my new I like it category. It's a fun, mechanically sound game with some really interesting puzzles, but it's not a game that I found myself completely enjoying and falling in love with. I didn't find anything bad about the game. I just didn't really get super invested in the game's world or in its almost non-existent story. Like, I like it mechanically, and I like the puzzles. I do like the exploration, but I don't love it. And even if I did play it last year when it actually came out, it wouldn't have been in my top 5. Like, the game is good, but for me, I don't think the game's great. And that's where my thoughts on Animal Well are. If you enjoyed the video, please do all the algorithm stuff, like, sub, all that. But most importantly, I hope you have a royal day or night, and I'll talk to you next time.